PFF NFL Week 9 storylines for the Browns. Storyline. Can Jameis Winston, Browns repeat their Week 8 victory? Winston stepped in, outdueled Lamar Jackson, producing 74.9 PFF passing grade. Team's first game having scored more than 20 points. That may have lit a fire under the Browns offense, in which has been declared dead for weeks. That's what PFF. So, again, the interesting thing was when you look at it, it looked completely different. The offense looked completely different. And the line looked better, the receivers looked better. But, and again, I'm a guy that defended Watson. If you go back and trace it, a lot of it comes back to quarterback play.
Yeah, and some people were talking about, well, there was the change with play callers with Ken Dorsey calling the plays in this game. That was the same schemes and plays. Maybe the sequencing was different with Dorsey, but it wasn't like a night and day 180 total change on the concepts and plays they were running. There were people out there saying that no quarterback could succeed in what the Browns were doing and with that wide receiver core and the supporting cast and all that stuff. And we got shown flat out that's not true. And I think Kevin Stefanski took it upon himself when he gave up play calling to be more of a CEO, to try to clean up those pre-snap penalties. I don't remember any illegal shifts and illegal formations in this game. There was a couple false starts from Wyatt Tellers and things like that, but those like just embarrassing penalties about not knowing where to be, when to be, and sort of things like that. I think Kevin Stefanski took it on himself to make sure to clean those things up so that he could put his new quarterback and his offense in the best position to succeed. And his quarterback just did his job. Make his read, throw the ball, get it out quickly when they're bringing pressure, give his guys a chance, play action, run the football. And I don't think it was this total night and day difference with scheme. I think they just went out there and they executed and did their job.
So this also from that same article, PFF Week 9 matchups to watch, and it's along the lines of what we talked about in the trenches. Browns right tackle Jack Conklin versus Chargers edge rusher Joey Bosa. Poor pass protection has been the bane of the Browns offense for most of the season when Conklin was missing from the lineup. The group has since taken strides since his return since Week 6. Cleveland a sizable drop in overall pressure surrendered and a rise in pass block efficiency rating. The other thing I would say, a lot of people were critical of Wyatt Teller. Remember, Teller came right off the IR and went right into a game. Usually they give him a week buffer, and the Browns just didn't feel like that was Teller gave him the best opportunity to have good line play. So I get what people are saying about Teller. I would expect a significant improvement in the false starts and all that this week with Teller.
Yeah, and I was going to say, just, there were some penalties and some things, but I still didn't think he was bad. I think he just kind of was a little off on a few plays. And like you said, man, he sat out a month and then was like, let's go up against some really good interior defensive linemen in the Ravens and just figure it out while you're out there because you give us the best chance to win. And, he went out there and I think he did an admirable job. I expect him to be a lot better. But right now, I think Jack Conklin's your best offensive lineman consistently. He really has cleaned up a lot of the pass protection issues that they've got going on there. But he's going up against a much bigger test this week. Joey Bosa, man, that's one of the premier pass rushers, in the league right now. If he can do what he's been doing the last couple of weeks, 6 pressures and no sacks this year, sign me up for that. If he can keep Joey Bosa from sacking Jameis Winston, I feel really good about it. I just think that offensive line kind of getting some cohesion in the interior with Wyatt Teller back multiple weeks and having the same right tackle for multiple weeks and kind of getting that same combination. I'm very interested to see who plays out on the left side, but I really like what Jack Conklin's given you, and it gave you the freedom to try DeJuan Jones at left tackle.
Yeah, and the other thing is, remember, they have Khalil Mack as well. So they have a couple of guys that can get after the quarterback. As we've said, similar to the Browns.